have ordinance number 052404. It's an ordinance to establish a stormwater utility in the city of Brunswick in the county of Middlesex, New Jersey. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on this particular? Mr. Lewis, before we go forth, can you please overview of what we're trying to do here?
Sure. Council President, members of the council, the city is taking action to protect the environment and responsibly manage the effects of storms and stormwater runoff. These efforts include stormwater compliance, infrastructure development, and flood mitigation to preserve the quality of life and property for the residents of New Brunswick. In recent years, the region has experienced a greater frequency and intensity of large storms, and as such, the city is facing increased stormwater runoff. The rain and melting snow that runs across the streets, parking lots, and lawns and other surfaces impacts our environment. During strong storms, rainwater washes over impermeable surfaces into stormwater systems carrying oil, pesticides, chemicals, sediments, and bacteria that pollute our waterways. This poor quality runoff mixes with freshwater sources and adds to the cost of treating the city's drinking water. It is also important to note that heavy rains put stress on sewers, increasing sewage treatment costs for New Brunswick's taxpayers. The stormwater utility will directly address the growing problem of runoff with an expanded physical system and an ever-improving modernization plan. Addressing this runoff will protect our homes, businesses, and property and ultimately improve the health, safety, economic well-being, and quality of life for our residents. As you know, New Brunswick sits in the Raritan Basin, putting the city under steady threat of flooding and storm surges from upstream areas that pour into the Raritan River, Brook River, and other tributaries in our city. Because of the city's location, New Brunswick needs to take extra measures and precautions during storms, putting local resources on standby in case of floods at additional cost to the taxpayer. Meanwhile, state and federal regulations continue to impose higher standards for stormwater management, also requiring additional expense to the New Brunswick taxpayer. Over the next 6 years, the city is expected to spend approximately $7,050,000 on stormwater mitigation projects and on a maintenance program. Without the formation of the stormwater utility, these projects would be solely paid by the taxpayers. This creates an unfair burden because 51% of the land in New Brunswick is exempt from paying property taxes, such as universities, campuses, hospitals, and other government buildings. And this places the onus on city taxpayers alone to fund all projects to control water and minimize property damage. Implementing a stormwater utility ensures all property owners pay for stormwater management, not just tax-paying parcels. Similarly, New Brunswick's water and sanitary sewer user fees, all properties within the city's boundaries who impact or are impacted by stormwater will fund the utility, ensuring fairness. The new utility will assess fees on an estimate of stormwater runoff from a given parcel, also known as an equivalent residential unit, or ERU. The cost for an ERU is $77 a year. Each parcel in the city is subject to a minimum fee of 1 ERU, and properties with greater impervious surfaces will be impacted accordingly. Most homes in New Brunswick are around or less than 1 ERU and will be billed $19.25 a quart. It is anticipated the new utility will bill $1.5 million a year for stormwater management, with all entities in the town paying their fair share. A stormwater utility was introduced as part of the 2024 budget. The city is now poised to adopt its budget and implement the stormwater utility effective the first week of July, with the first billing cycle occurring in the fall. In summary, the stormwater utility allows New Brunswick to equitably fund the necessary stormwater system improvements and compliance requirements. Meanwhile, it creates the right funding mechanism to meet the city's obligation for public health and safety while remaining responsible stewards of our municipal infrastructure. If you have any questions, I'd like to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions from my council members? At this time, we are opening the floor for public hearing on this ordinance only. You have up to 5 minutes, one time out.
Hi, yes, Daniel Moore, Somerset Street. Well, it's good to hear that the city is really finally starting to do something. As far as with protecting with stormwater, is there a list of certain locations that flood frequently? Do you have a list of them due to where, what that would be the taken care of once this goes through? Meaning, for example, due to where I know severe, okay, Jersey Avenue area, all along the railroad tracks, due to where, how people have been coming down to the city with certain areas, due to where, the street does not have to be flooded, as I see it saying many times in my videos, due to as long as the Raritan River is super high, how it will still back up into people's sewer lines, and it's getting outrageous where with a lot of homeowners, due to where, honestly, with the amount of rain we've been having, and honestly, I have to say, the Lord is showing me this is going to be a bad year with flooding with New Brunswick, due to where already. But I hope this can really help a lot of owners due to where, with their basements, especially in the areas of Railroad Avenue, due to where, where I meant basically every time it has to rain, where my old neighbors are telling me due to where, come on, you can't keep it afford the replacing washer, dryer, water heaters and everything in the areas of Railroad Avenue. I have seen the city come out and take measurements, explain them to me. Like I said, Jersey Avenue, honestly, I say, I was in a planning board meeting with the people who are taking over where 131 Jersey Avenue is, where the school was going to go, explaining really, I don't see what you're even going to build over there, due to where the flooding over there is getting worse and worse, and meaning when I say worse and worse, with not even in 10 minutes, how things have been flooding due to where, like I said, with the river rising, with the high tide coming in closer on a normal basis, due to where, I see a lot needs to be done, and then to protect the waters, due to where I see people, as you did mention, changing oils in their driveway, then also pouring the oil in the street, where I just took pictures of sometime this month, looking at all the oil running to the storm drains. You keep saying people get ticketed for doing certain things, but whenever it's called in, provided with evidence, no tickets are never handed out. Then you talk about sewage due to where Townsend Street under the bridge. I said God bless to the fire department for their work. Every 2 weeks where they come over there with a water hose to wash away piss and shit, and believe me, from all the ones that stay under there. Doesn't that go into the storm drains? So like I said, you keep saying that you're really doing things, but do I see matters being taken care of what you're saying with protecting the water? Please, like I said, as many times I go down to the river due to where I like nature, because I like to just take pictures, but as nasty as the water is down there, several times the fish dying down there situations, will I ever trust that water again? No, I will not. But I hope that this project will help many others due to where I met with seriously suffering with flooding. And that was even just through the winter time. We haven't even been through hurricane season. And like I said, I pray what the Lord is, like I said, showing me. Yes, we are going to have major flooding. And it's not like I didn't warn before Hurricane Ida. It's not like I didn't warn Mr. Anderson, Director Ross, Mayor Cahill, 48 hours before I said, please keep an eye on it. I can't stop thinking about it. Due to where, plenty of times I give warnings. Do I see action taken seriously? Maybe out of the past couple of times with the park rangers going down, blocking the river off and all, due to where, please, I hope this does help in many ways, but like I said, you got to do your part in making sure things are clean by giving out tickets as you're supposed to be doing to certain situations and not making excuses. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public?
Good evening again, Shirley Prattville. I would like to know what the city's options were under the statute for this and how this approach compares to what other municipalities have done.
Spoke to, first if I may, Ms. Moore's question. Part of the capital plan for the utility is to engage in a master plan study, which will look at the city's totality on flooding. As it relates to the options, the statutes that the legislature intended in 2019 provide different options on how to come to a rate. The DEP provided us technical assistance in determining the rate through a rate study and what's the right fit for our type of geography. So I don't know what all the methodologies are. However, the technical advisor is a well-known engineering firm who specializes in this, and through their evaluation of our utility development, they chose this methodology and advised us of it. We reviewed it and we felt that it was the sound approach.
Thank you.
And which firm was that?
The CADIS.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I guess my question was more about whether this has to be done at a municipal level, or if there's any option to team up with other towns or do it through the county. Is that an option under the statutes? Or I truly don't know, so just asking.
Please, do you have the answer to that question? Or do you know?
There are regional consortiums reviewing stormwater options, but I'm not an expert in sections.
Okay. And I do see a section about public input. Yeah, public engagement on page 7. I wanted to ask what that might look like. Talks about advisory committees. Would those be established soon, or before the stormwater utility, or after?
It says the overseeing authority, agency, or governing body shall, within 1 year after the establishment of the utility and each year thereafter, prepare and submit to the DLGS, Visual Developer Services. So I think the answer to Mr. Craddock's question is the overseeing authority, agency, or governing body shall, within 1 year after establishment of the utility.
Okay, well, I guess I was asking more about the hearings, the part right above it. When would those be? Would those be before the thing starts, or you do the thing and then you start having the hearings?
Well, we're having a hearing right now, Mr. Craddock.
We are.
You're part of it, congratulations.
It's a start. But yeah, I guess I was just curious if there's going to be a board, if it's going to have how many members, who's going to appoint them, will the meetings be public, those kinds of things. I don't know if anybody's thought about it.
Those details here?
I don't, we are establishing a utility today.
Right,
So
right.
we're working on that.
Okay, and I do see a requirement for a website. Will it have a name? Is it going to be called the New Brunswick Stormwater Utility, or?
That's the
That's
name.
the plan.
Okay. And yeah, I'll look forward to the website. I do see, that 1 year timeline in there, and I also see a timeline. I think it says something has to be, here on the bottom of page 6, within 6 months of the effective date, the utility shall develop and implement procedures, so on and so forth, for the credit for on-site activities. I wanted to ask how that compares to the rest of the stormwater utilities. I mean, this whole thing will be up and running in 6 months, or even
That's
sooner?
what we hope for, even before that, right? As of today,
It is the credit policy is a prerequisite to come up with the rate, and the credit policy was established through the rate process, so we do have that, yes, and that's in the ordinance.
That's already there, okay. So how soon might we expect this to take effect? Is it just 20 days from when the mayor signs it?
So,
I think that's all my questions on this one. Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else from the public on this particular ordinance? Seeing none?
Councilmember Ferguson,
yes.
Councilmember Gaskins. Yes. Councilmember Secor Ludwig. Yes. Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes.